Hi again, guys. I'm Yelena, and this is my channel, Soul Sessions. I'm a student of astrology, intuitive soul coach, and a yoga teacher. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you your weekly horoscope for Tuesday, March 26th through Monday, April 1st. This week, Mercury finally stations moving out of retrograde. But don't get too excited yet. This confusion isn't quite over just because it does meet up in the sky with the sometimes confusing, foggy, and dreamlike planet of Neptune. Also, Venus, the planet of love and pleasure, and Mars, the planet of action. Both of these move into new astrological signs this week, and it makes them much more stronger and able to work better in alignment with the energies presented. So stay tuned to find out more. All right, guys, so we don't have too much action going on in the sky this week in terms of anything chaotic or too crazy. But there is definitely a shift of energy taking place slowly but surely. And in my opinion, it's going to benefit a lot of us. So I'm super excited about this. Now, of course, with any of my weekly readings, these are just general overviews of the astrological energies for the week. So if you're interested in something that's a little bit more tailored specifically to you, please get in contact with me directly to do so. Okay, let's get into this. Now, as of Tuesday, March 26th at 3:43 p.m. about Eastern Standard Time, until I'd say around April 19th, Venus, the planet of love and pleasure and our desires, our biggest, deepest, darkest desires. This planet moves into one of its favorite signs, Pisces. Yes, Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, making its energy much more stronger and harmonious. Venus has just moved out of the sign of Aquarius, which it doesn't really like so much. Aquarius is a bit emotionally detached, and Venus really likes to be in touch with its emotions. So over the course of this past month, there may have been a little bit of a push and pull here with this type of energy in our lives over the past, I would say, month or so. But there's no reason to worry because it seems to be over at this point. Pisces is a water sign. It's all about being in touch with your emotional side. And this really is a great energy for love, you guys. If you're already in a relationship, you might crave more intimacy or something like that. And it's also just an overall tendency to compromise with your partner a little bit easier. You might begin to understand things from your partner's perspective a little bit more, which could result in an almost effortless flow between the two of you. So this is really good energy for that. Now, if you're single, you'll still feel this energy with any of the other relationships in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, or maybe it's hitting a part of your chart, which is really good for dating and meeting somebody new. And also the relationship with yourself. We don't want to forget that either. So it'll be a bit more easy to understand the feelings that you're having now, understand what's going on in your inner world, and just to know what to do with it all. Show yourself a bit more self-love and compassion during this time while you have the drive and the passion to do so. Now on Thursday, March 28th at 9:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Mercury finally stations direct. Woohoo! So we've been in the Mercury retrograde period since about March 5th. And obviously before that, leading back into February, it was also in its shadow period, which still makes it a little bit more of a difficult time as well. And this was not an easy one for many of us. I've heard this from so many people. And not to cast another shadow on this, I'm sorry guys, but I just want everyone to be aware that this is usually a really big day of relief for us, but this energy isn't quite over yet. We're going to be feeling this slightly into the middle of April, even considering the fact that we are still in its shadow. Usually it does lighten up the load, but because it's coming out of retrograde in the same sign of Pisces, which it doesn't necessarily do very well in, but it's coming out and it's going to be almost directly next to Neptune in the sky, which astrologers call a conjunction. Mercury does not operate the best in Pisces. It doesn't like it at all, or with Neptune, and Pisces actually rules Neptune, so that makes sense. It's like being wedged in between two people that you just can't really be yourself around, or that you don't really quite like. It's a bit confusing and can be really uncomfortable at times. It doesn't necessarily make the best environment yet for clear thinking and communication. Although fortunately, we do have the support of Venus in Pisces, which we did just discuss. So this can really help us to maybe have a bit more compassion if we are confronted with any type of situation that might be uncomfortable or confusing for us. So we might be able to understand it a little bit better, kind of push it to the side and deal with it when the right time comes around. Now, we will be more prone to just roll with the punches, okay? That's a good thing. And maybe give somebody a break if any type of confrontation or communication mishap does arise. Now, I've heard a couple different examples of things that could be possible with this Mercury-Neptune conjunction when they get really close in the sky like this. These aren't to make anybody fearful, of course, okay? But I like to give just different perspectives, which you can then relate back to your life to see if this might be affecting you. We need to be careful not to hide away and get wrapped in any of our old addictive tendencies or behaviors where we're maybe trying to escape reality because we don't maybe quite understand how our realities are playing out for us at the time. And it might freak us out or make us a little bit uncomfortable. We might not have exactly all the answers to where we're headed yet. Like, for instance, I know I have to move in a few weeks, but I still have absolutely no idea where or have any of the details or anything like that planned out. And I still haven't even found anything. But I do know that now is not the time at all to get super stressed out about this. And the reason that I know that I just need to trust and roll with the punches without knowing anything is because I know that there is a higher power working to my advantage. And no, I'm not telling you to go find Jesus. That's not what this is about, okay? Why I do say this, because I do know that Pisces and Neptune, they also both rule spirituality and a higher power that's kind of conspiring behind the scenes for you. If you're able to just release control for once and trust while you're in this Neptunian fog and confusion that we're currently sitting in. And yeah, I know it can be a really difficult thing to do. Trust me. I definitely understand that. But yeah, right now is the time to release control. Now, a couple more examples. There is a possibility at this time for unexpected accidents or maybe situations that might lead you to places, including but not limited to jails, hospitals, or even someplace like a rehabilitation center, a rehab, or maybe even a spiritual retreat center. So it doesn't always have to be negative. Pisces is the ruler of any and all institutions which are hidden away from the public, okay? Also, if you're trying to get maybe a confusing point across to someone, or maybe clear up some type of crisis in communication, you might just want to wait until the end of next week for this energy to dissipate a bit, okay? Just give this situation some space at this time in order to maybe prevent further mishaps in communication. My best advice at this time is just to try your best to go with the flow. Now, here are a couple more energetic things to watch out for with this energy. People who might embellish, spin, or maybe stretch the truth about certain situations, kind of like a smoke and mirrors type thing, for instance. Okay, watch out for that. Watch out for people who might manipulate or mislead you. We tend to be a bit more of a target at this time for narcissistic and or sociopathic type of people. So watch out for that. Also watch out for anything that might appear one way in the media because it could end up being totally something completely different. So watch out for misheadlined or misleading stories in the headlines at this time. And also symbols and messages during your dream time, because this could be something that's trying to come up from your subconscious mind to teach you something. Now, you might also expect feelings of deja vu at this time. And I'll explain why this could occur. So it has something to do with the path that Mercury is tracing in the sky, okay? As it retrogrades, it appears to be moving backwards in the sky. And it makes all kinds of connections with different planets, which are in different constellations. And these in astrology we call aspects. Now, as it begins to move back forward on its trajectory again, out of retrograde, it covers all those areas already that it's already moved through. So what happens, as above, so below, which is a universal law of correspondence, this also occurs in our lives, the same thing that's happening in the sky. And we begin to have reoccurring themes since maybe what we experienced in February or the beginning of March to go over things in our lives and in our minds and recover them, reviewing them, seeing exactly what played out before, okay, maybe reworking things per se. We've all made our fair share of mistakes this past month or so, I can almost guarantee it. And now is our chance to go over them again and make them right. So this might bring up some odd familiarity or, like I said before, deja vu type situations for some of you. And finally, I want to cover one more small transit here. So on Saturday, March 30th at 2:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this transit will last until I'd say around May 15th. Mars moves out of its detriment position, which is an area which it doesn't do too well in the sky, which was in Taurus, where it doesn't necessarily operate that well. And it's moving into Gemini, which is a lot better of a position for it. Not its best, but definitely better. This exciting energy for multitasking, thinking quickly, and even being a little bit more quick-witted. So you might catch yourself at this time trying to drive on a busy street while you're putting on your makeup and you're eating a bagel. And you're also paying extra close attention to whatever podcast you might have on the radio. But this isn't necessarily the best time for doing so many things at once like this. Even though you're definitely going to feel more talented in that arena, you might find that it's hard to focus on the task at hand. You could get bored easily. These are a lot of Gemini's qualities that are coming to the forefront now with this energy. So please keep in mind during this time that Mercury, who is the ruler of Gemini, is still in Pisces, who's just coming out of retrograde. And Pisces, like we said earlier, it isn't necessarily his best friend, Mercury's. So if you get the gist there, this can make us all a bit more forgetful and definitely a bit spaced out. So if you have multiple tasks that need to be done, let's just try being a bit more organized during this time. You might want to make yourself a schedule or maybe a to-do list to put some order to your life, or else you might find yourself all over the place, okay? Now is the best time to manage yourself wisely. Well, guys, I hope this helps you to navigate the energies for this week a little bit better. I tried to do a different format today. Hope you guys liked it, and I hope your week runs smooth as ever and that you start seeing the light at the end of this retrograde tunnel. As always, if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment, and also hit the subscribe button below for weekly astrological and spiritual content from yours truly. Thank you and have a great week.